Hey, everybody.
Hi, everyone.
Happy December.
Happy December. We have a real lack of snow this December for the first time in decades
Yeah,
because we're in the Sonoran Desert,
right.
as you
Right.
might be able to tell by those saguaro behind us.
Yeah, so it's odd for us to be wishing you a good December, but December happens here too.
It does.
And it's kind of stunning, the holiday lights that are up on people's homes. It just looks really weird, but if it's December here too.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right. They've got the Festival of Lights and all of the things you find in the northern cities,
yeah,
but it takes a little getting used
yeah.
to see it in warm days with no snow.
There's even an ice rink
Yeah,
in downtown Tucson.
probably not a great use of
Outside,
energy, but
just nuts.
no.
No, not a good use of energy. Not. But there it is. So here we are, wanting to speak with you this month. We're kind of have talked about doing a kind of close up on community, which was last month's topic, and going into just relationship. What is your relationship? What is our relationship with the natural world? That's always a question. What is your relationship with other beings and with the natural world? What strikes you about that, Gary?
Oh my gosh, I think we keep coming back to relationship over and over. I'm thinking of the ravens in Yellowstone in relationship with the wolves, leading them because they can see where carcasses are to the carcass so the wolves can tear open the hide and the ravens can feed because their beak isn't sharp enough to tear the hide themselves. I'm thinking of honeybirds in Africa leading humans quite literally to trees where beehives are, so they break them open and leave some for the honeybird. We've talked about the microbes living in us. It's all relationship.
Yeah, yeah. And out here, it's relationship. All of these things are here together in great diversity, cooperating and they're not even thinking about cooperation. It's just what they do by nature. And this, I think, is one of the lessons that we're picking up and that we're proposing to you. And you've heard us say that there's no way not to be in interdependence. There's no way not to be in in relation with all things. And yet, because we have these frontal lobes and we have this self-reflective capacity, we have the capacity to think about it and consider whether we are being responsible to our relationality or not. You know what? We can also overthink it.
True. But, I'm coming back also again to the driving philosophical underpinning of this culture for 400 years, 400 plus years. And that's, the subject object thinking, the isolating things so that you can study it in depth enough to come up with some aspect of what makes it tick. And that's been incredibly useful. Our technologies are founded on that. But if you really start thinking that's kind of how the world is, a bunch of separate, disconnected objects, including you and me, just out there, afloat in a universe that really doesn't care about us. It really can be difficult to start to see things in terms of relationship. I think it's a great exercise to just wake up and try to spend as much of the day as possible noticing relationships. Human for sure, but other things. The sun setting your melatonin levels, and the trees giving the oxygen you're breathing, and you giving carbon dioxide to them, and on it goes. And I think we really do need to cultivate the habit of seeing in terms of relationship before we can start to feel the power of that.
One of the things that we did at this summer's Gifts of Full Ecology retreat and plan to do again next year is to foreground, along with, in this case, meditation and inquiry and right action, to foreground food. So we put that in that series. That's a lovely place to consider, to be with, to be, oh my.
Perfect.
That and water and air, and the soils then that are underneath the ground that we walk on, or are the ground we walk on, that are absolutely necessary for contributing minerals and a place to grow.
Yeah, I love the food. The food is just such a good way in. What's on your plate? Who sold it to you? Where did you get it? And where did they get it? Who was the farmer that grew it and then
Yeah,
sold it to them? And as far as the farmer is concerned, what kind of relationship did she have with the ground and the microbes in the ground and the earthworms that aerated the soil, and the
yeah,
various kinds of natural ways that certain sort of pathogens can be deterred by virtue of the relationships that exist in the soil. Yeah, it goes on and on and on. I think food is a wonderful way in.
yeah. And so this is the invitation to take it in a little closer, take it into your relationship with other things, and even looking at other things' relationship with each other, but take it in closer and see how reliable community is.
Yeah,
Ours is a time where it is, the word that comes to mind is vital, but it seems really just smart to pay attention to what we can count on. And some of you may live lives that are rather isolated from other people. Nothing wrong with that. That's just a way to choose how you live. And yet, you eat, you breathe. And I'm certain, because you're watching us, you have a relationship with the outside world. So these are ways that we recognize and foster and remind ourselves. That's probably one of the most important things right
yeah,
now, that
absolutely.
we are not alone, that we belong, that we are in community.
Yeah, and I want to say also about relationship as far as social ecologies, we tend to maybe think, yes, we're in relationship with our family or our friends or the people who vote like us. But the fact of the matter is, the people who didn't vote like you did and who are running a lot of things and will be soon running a lot of things, you're in relationship with them too. And so it might be an interesting time to consider what that relationship is, beyond just maybe some of the animosity you might feel. What really is the connection between the sides that think they're so far apart? It might be a useful time to focus on that.
And here's a wisdom that we've heard from a wise person, that has been helpful for us at this time. It sounds counter to community, but it's not really. And the suggestion is to put yourself up in the eagle's nest.
Mm.
Take that perspective. From there, watch everything that is going on around you, and and don't get directly engaged insofar as you are able in the drama, in the mayhem. If you stay in the eagle's perch, you are no less in relationship, but your heart gets to rest. Your heart gets to watch and stay open, so that when you see something that really can use your presence, and that can use your help, you're not depleted.
Yeah.
You are ready, and you can go and be of help in more immediate and more substantive ways. So that's a thing that we suggest. That is community, even though it seems it's standing back from community, but with community in mind
Yeah.
and in heart.
And you've been very good at reminding me of that eagle's perch perspective, and it's I think been especially useful and meaningful to me in this time when I'm sort of askew, if you will, based on what happened in the last election and concerns and anxieties I have about what may happen in the months and years to come. That eagle's perch, if you can get in the habit of being able to go there, does give your heart and your mind a rest. And from that rested position, you can sort of live out of the center of your life instead of being caught up in the vortex that keeps spinning around.
And if you want a teacher for how to be in that relative position, go out and find the biggest tree, the oldest tree, that's better, the oldest tree in a stand. We've been looking at the oldest saguaro around us, with the ones that have been standing the very longest, and God knows how long they've been
Probably
here.
well over a century,
And
for
they
sure.
change so slowly, and somehow they keep going, and they are in the position that can teach us, and it's different from an eagle, but let's try this one on too, as yeah, not just a metaphor, really quite practical for how we can live, and that is to be planted in our place. We remember that saying, grow where you were planted, to be in that place and to be fully ourselves, like any of these, like a grandmother oak or a grandmother Douglas fir. All of those are beings that are just being who they are in the company of everybody else, responsive and connected and present. Because, like, why not?
Yeah, and physically connected to
That's
things
it.
around them through their own
Yeah.
root structures, and of course the mycelium networks that link them not to just their own kind, but to other species as well. So yeah, it's literally a connected life. For the tree you see standing out in the field that you think might be just one of those rugged individuals, again, it's not.
Yeah, and so, we find ourselves, preparing this for early December. And we know that last month we focused on community around the opportunity and responsibility to vote. And we were speaking about that because that was so high on our minds, of course, and in our hearts. And so we didn't have the opportunity to let you know in this way how grateful we are for you in our community.
Yes.
We are so grateful, and we love hearing from you. And we will, of course, be celebrating you during the solstice and the winter holiday time and the rolling around into a new year, when we'll have another video from who knows where. So yeah, we really appreciate you and consider you community, even though we are all not in connection all the time. But we hope that you will be in touch, and just know that you've got us as part of your community.
Yeah, the last couple of deep dives especially have felt to me like just a really nourishing meal, where people, all of us have exchanged our admitted and accepted and celebrated our relationship to each other, and then also felt comfortable enough to really share what was on our mind. And those are the threads from which we weave a sense of place and certainly a sense of community and relationship. So join us if you can for the next deep dive.
That's going to be on December 10th at 6 o'clock in the evening Mountain Time, but we will send a reminder.
Yeah.
If you're not on our mailing list, please go to our website at www.fullecology.com and subscribe at the bottom of that homepage, or just write us at connect@fullecology.com, and we will be happy to hear from you, and we will put you right on that list so that you're updated. We send a monthly newsletter, and when we're having deep dive, which it's on these months, we send a little update or a little reminder of that. But generally that's all.
Yeah,
just
we won't
those
pester
two.
you too
No,
much. We won't flood your inbox with.
And please, if you're on even if you're not on the website, go to the website and check out the retreats.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. Talk about an opportunity to really celebrate and release the power of relationship, both with other humans, but certainly the land underfoot.
In a totally different ecosystem.
Yeah, that place will get your attention in the most beautiful way.
Yeah. So we sure appreciate you, and we will talk with you again next month.
Yes.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye for now.
Bye.